Welcome, everyone, to Stimulate Your Business. We're using Chinese metaphysics of astrology, feng shui, and favorable timing with the TimeBlazr. And we are just about ready to go into day 5 of the information. And all of this week, we were talking about astrology. So, this is a 3-week program that is hands on, which means I need you to actually do some of the work as well. I'm giving you all of my training right from my heart to help you understand what's happening in your chart, what's happening in your space, and how to use favorable timing to trigger the energy to stimulate your business. So, first of all, my name is Kathleen Zemansky. I'm a business feng shui master, astrologer, and the creator of the TimeBlazr. And I welcome you to my community. If this is the first time you're with us today, hello. Please put your name in the comments below and let us know where you're tuning in from today. So I know that we've gotten people from all over the world yet this week, and so I hope that you are either near or far and able to listen to us live. But if you aren't, there's also obviously the replay here. Now, let me explain what we did throughout the week, because you may want to go back to listening to the first part of the week, which is all really about you. And so, the number one thing that I want you to think about is we went through when we finish today, we're going to go through all 12 of the animals in the zodiac. I also talked a little bit about world trends at the top of the week. And so, what you're going to want to do is go back and listen to those specific uh, videos if you haven't listened to me as we've gone along during the week. Now, if you have, then you are up to date. But if you need a review, they're always there for your review. What I would really love for you to do, if you can help me out here, is if you could actually share this link. You could either share the link that you are listening to either on YouTube or on Facebook, but you could also just send to your community this particular URL so that they too can stimulate their business. So bit.ly/stimulate your business, and that will be to help people along the way, because there's some collateral that we'd like to send to you, but we need if you are interested in astrology, feng shui, and favorable timing, because we've got some exciting things for you to happen along the way. Okay, so basically what we are going to be doing today is going through the last 3 animals, and then I'm going to help you set up what we're going to be talking about next week along the way. So let's just hop in and get started here. And let's go to our next slide. So we are, like I said, we are talking about day 5. We're going to be talking about the dog, the pig, and the rat today. So the first thing that I really want you to do now, if you haven't done so already, is go ahead and head on over to freebusinessastrology.com. And the reason that you want to go over there is because you can get your chart for yourself. But I also want you to think beyond yourself, because if you're in business, you need obviously followers, you might have a staff, you might have service providers. And so you're going to want to know what is going on with them as well. So you're going to want to go ahead and fill in their birth information. You may not know the hour of birth, but believe me, having the year, month, and day of each person would certainly be a wonderful way for you to ignite your business and bring some stimulus to that. Now, before we go beyond or before we get into the animals, I really want you to put into the chat, because this is accountability, right? This is not a save for later. I really would even encourage you shutting down your email. I would want you to shut off your phone. I really want you to pay attention to this, because my goal is really to help you get some cash flow into your business as quickly as possible. And so, that might mean $500, that might mean $1,000, it may mean $10,000. So I want you to think about a coaching program, a maybe leverage some information you already have and start a little online teaching program, opening up your calendar for some discovery calls. Now that's going to be more in week 3, but here are the building steps. You need to know what's in your chart for you to know what is your best and highest strategy for you to take at this particular time. Then number 2, we're going to activate your space so that you are in the most vibrant areas of your space so that things will flow to you much easier. Your feng shui is really about helping you achieve your goals. This is a holistic system that I'm presenting to you. And then in week 3, we're going to talk about the TimeBlazr in favorable timing. So, but like I said, the first step is the building blocks, and this is the building block week, and that is about the astrology. All right. So let's talk about the dog. And yesterday I introduced, because of the timing factor, I didn't talk about the TimeBlazr at all on the first few days because the timing has already passed. But we are now looking at not only the animals, but I'm just giving you a brief overview of what the month of October, which is always the dog month, and the month is going to start on the 8th of the month. It's not like the Western calendar, which starts at the 1st, but I still make it look a little bit like a Western calendar for you. And then that's going to go all the way into November. But this is how you're going to get ahead of the game. Planning ahead, having clear and concise goals, and then you are using person, space, and time, astrology, feng shui, and the TimeBlazr to help trigger this energy to benefit you. So that's how we are going to be really just building this wonderful stimulus for you. So like I said, please declare, I'm going to open up 10 coaching spots. I'm going to do 10 discovery calls because maybe you don't have a clientele quite yet, or a program that you're going to be launching. Let me know in the comments what you are going to be doing, because I want to actually see you doing your steps outside of my training. Okay? All right. Very good. Then from there, this is where we're going. Hi, Alex. Glad that you're tuning in today. Thanks for coming on in. We appreciate your following. Okay, so let's talk about the dog. And like I said, even if you don't have these animals in your chart, as you can see, it has a timing aspect. It's going to have a feng shui aspect to it. So you still need to listen in on all of the attributes and challenges of each and every one of these animals along the way. Okay. All right. So let's start with the dog. The dog has 2 favorable energies this year. And yeah, even though it does have, some issues with the ox, the dog itself still has some good potential for us to tap into if you have a dog or using, the space and or timing. So one of the first things the dog has going for them is it has what's called fortune virtue, which basically means that you're going to get some fortune, wealth, let's just read it at face value. But there's also included in that is helpful people, stability, and it's also going to help you with your mindset. So a lot of times people say they want things, but they actually repel it by having a negative mindset. So this is something that's really going to help with that, and it's also going to help you, really. If you're willing to do this, is really help rewire your brain. Now, there's many tools that I can help you with that as well, but in this free training, we're gonna keep it right there. Okay. Now, I also need to let you know, not only does it have a good timing aspect for this year, because look at all those green. When I'm talking about the TimeBlazr, that's going to be more in week 3, but I want you to just take a screenshot of this and at least look at some of those nice days that are coming up in October. Now, getting moving into the details of the day, that's going to be where you're going to get the most potential. Write down, distilling it to the right hour of every day to do your launches and things like that. Again, we're talking about that in week 3, but just know, like, I need you to start planning ahead. Like, let's plan out the rest of this year together and figure out, where you're going to have the most potential to your success in stimulating your business. All right. But it does have a very good feng shui energetics this year as well, which I'll talk about more next week when we go into the feng shui. All right. So, how many of you would like to be an influencer or a leader, if you will? So, the dog this year, not only does it have this fortune virtue, which will help you with cash flow and building your assets, if you will, your IP, if you will, but it also comes with fame. So if you've ever wanted to take on that leadership status or start maybe, a YouTube channel, some of you are just starting out. I get that. The last year and a half has just taken people off kilter. Which by the way, I talked about 2 years ago at my annual event, that we were in for a really serious ride with super viruses. We didn't know how big that was going to be, but we knew, I was predicting that you would be wearing face masks. So here we are. It really knocked out a lot of industries. I mean, to the point where it really knocked people to their knees, if not down to their face. So now's the time. We still have some challenging times ahead. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. We still have challenging times ahead, especially through the metal ox year, and things may be opening up a little bit when we have this growth spurt with going into the spring season of the water tiger. But let's suffice to say, since we do have still some struggles ahead, how can we bring in this other side, the yin side, the metaphysical side, to already a good business plan and a good marketing plan? Those are the things I really want you to think about. So, are you somebody who wants to have an influence, that you're going to need to do this more of an online platform where a lot of people are hanging out and are going to continue? Believe me, when things are going to open back up, people are not going to ignore all of the great things that you have developed and created online. We are finding that remote working is here to stay. It might be a hybrid if you are working in a brick and mortar situation, but the hybrid is going to stay. Technology is on the rise. We're going to see new platforms coming. Find out what platform is best serving for you. Start using it, and using it now. Yes, you can become an overnight success, but most of us need to get out there and continue to nurture and build community, right? Using your JVs and your affiliations and things like that. That's what an influencer does. It leverages everything that they have in their toolkit. So, this is something that you're going to start working on: your brand, your messaging, your social media presence, that you're ready and you're visible, and that's going to help level up all of your professional skills along the way. So you also will attract a good team this year because of it. So that's also good to know. So if you have a dog in your chart, and remember, this is more on day 2 where I go extensively into that. I'm not going to do that today. I need you to go back and listen to that for those of you who were here live. But I have put on, every time I introduce a new animal, it's on the lower part of the chart right under the animal. The year is about your networks and market expansion. Other things too, go back and listen to the full descriptions of these. Month is going to be about your career and character. Day of birth, we love the day of birth because that's about your mindset and your partnerships and about you. And then your hour is about goals and your investments. So some of you may not know your hour of birth, but for those of you who do know your year, month, and day, I know that there's adoptions or, records weren't registered and for certain people. But to run a chart, we need at least the year, month, and day, and that's 75% of what you can know. So let's not worry about, oh, I can't do this because I don't know my hour of birth. That's small-minded thinking. Remember, the day of birth is going to help you come into your fullest potential so that the rest of your chart flows. So this is very important to understand. All right, so but one of the things that the dog does need to worry about or be concerned, be aware. Let's put it that way. Um, it's not a horrible one because you can help yourself when you know these things, and that is isolation. So you may have to force yourself to get out of the comfort zone. I can't tell you how many people I know of very, very, very high status that are brilliant on camera or on a stage, but you get them in a one-to-one conversation and or in a group conversation, and it's like they're a shrinking violet. So this may be the case for you as well. So that is where I'm going to need you to, just get a little bit out of your comfort zones. Try a smaller platform or try a smaller group, and make it more conversational. It doesn't have to be, a keynote every time you get onto stage. It could be a smaller thing, but let's work on things that potentially you already have, that is ready to go right out of the box, that you can leverage material that you've already done and maybe just a smaller version of it so that you can get that notoriety that you so much deserve. And here's another thing I want you to think about. We have 6 months left in the Chinese year of the metal ox. And what is going to happen in February, all of these energies that I'm talking about are now going to shift into a different dynamics. So with it shifting, you lose all of the things that I'm telling you right now. So if you activate these things now, they can last a lifetime. If you let them go, bye bye, they're not going to be accessible to you the longer you wait. So the quicker that you can activate these things, the more benefit you are going to get from these energies. Okay? All right, let's go on to the next slide. I'm going to talk to you with each of the animals I'm going to talk to you about today. We're going to talk about companion animals. We're going to talk about clashes and three harmonies, and I'll introduce that right now. So the dog and rabbit are best friends. So the rabbit, as we know this year, doesn't have too much going for them as far as astrologically. Spatially, we like what's happening in the east where the rabbit is located on the feng shui compass dial, or 24 mountain compass dial, for those of you who know that term. But when you have a dog in your chart and then you bring in a rabbit, it really does bring in a nice energetic for you to be working with. So this is actually a very nice simpatico to have in your chart. So for those of you who had rabbits who listened to me a couple of days ago, they said, "Oh my gosh, I've got 2 or 3 rabbits in my chart. What do I do?" Find a dog friend or use the dog spatially, which is in the northwest area. I'll talk more about that next week. But really what you want to do is you want to start bringing in wherever we can find good energy, grab it. So where an animal is not of a great potential this year, find someone or something or some other way of tapping into it to boost your animal. So that was specifically asked by one of our followers here this week. So I hope that helped you because I specifically talked to you about the rabbit. Use it spatially, so find out where it's at in the dog. For those of you who don't know where that's at, that'll be coming next week, okay? All right, and we just got a couple of days for that, so just let's have patience, all right? All right, so 3 harmony. Now, some of you may actually have all 3 of these animals in your chart: a dog, a horse, and a tiger. Now, a 3 harmony is an animals, excuse me, that have, when you combine those 3 together, they're going to create a certain element. And in this particular case, it's going to create fire. Now, I talked again in previous videos, go back and listen to those, but I just pulled out from my software right below your natal chart. There's a sort of lower left, right below your natal chart, it's going to say 5 structures. Your 5 structures are obviously going to be different than what you're seeing on the sample screen right now because your birth chart is different. The 5 structures are the yin and yang total elements of your natal chart. And so that's what we're going to be just talking about right now. And basically, this 3 harmony or triple harmony, I call it sometimes as well, is creating fire. Now, to use the triple harmony or the 3 harmony, you actually need to have one of these in your natal chart. If you don't have it, if you don't have a tiger or a dog or a horse, or maybe you have a combination of those, then this triple harmony will not help you because you have to connect with it. That's why this is so personalized that you really have to connect with your chart to be able to make this activation happen. And then the next thing I want to tell you is, do you even want more fire in your chart? So I talked about the 5 structures before on what these mean, so just go back and listen to that video. And then, do you need more fire in your chart? Now, keep in mind, in 2021, which I talked about on day 1 about all of the elements, and I gave you the ranking of the elements based on the natal chart of the year, not your natal chart, the natal chart of when the birth of the metal ox came into play. Basically, that chart would say which animals are, or which elements, and animals for that matter, which elements are more favorable and which ones are more contentious this year. Well, fire is one of them, and fire is not a favorable element this year. So maybe this year you may not want to bring in more fire, but let's face it, we need fire. We need fire in this world. It brings us sunlight, it brings us warmth, it's the happiness element. So we do need fire, but maybe we only need a little bit of it because the other elements this year are going to be more favorable to tap into. So therefore, if you already have, like you see in this metal, and that is that your fire is completely filled up, again, your wealth element will be whatever it is. So look on your chart. I'm just trying to set up the example. Then basically what you need to understand is you don't need to bring in more fire. So just watch that when you're bringing this in. So how do you bring in the 3 harmony? Again, you have to have 1 in your chart. Now, what we have to look at is, let's say you are a dog and you want to bring in a tiger and a horse. Timing wise, we cannot bring in the month of the tiger because that was in February, already gone. You can do it next year, but you can't do it this year. We can't use the month of June because it's already passed. At the time of this recording, if you're listening to me live, it is July, so that's already gone. But what you can do is you can bring in the 3 harmony through every 12 days. There is a tiger day, and every 12 days there's a dog day and a horse day, and then every day the Chinese clock, if you will, go in 2-hour time slots. So every 2 hours there is a different animal. We'll go more into that when we talk about the TimeBlazr, but just know there's still potential to tap into this 3 harmony if you want to bring in more fire into your chart. Again, if you need it, use it, because it's always nice to bring in some happiness and visibility. It's also great for visibility, because you can't, whether it's the sun in the sky, that's yang fire, or a candle that would be burning at night, then you would see it. You don't see a candle too much during the day, but we do need to bring in, and it's great for charisma, it's great for passion. You really need to be passionate about what you do, or people will not be attracted to you. So it's sort of that attraction magnet that can help you along the way. All right, the clash animal, though, is the dragon. And we know the dragon this year doesn't have too many. It does have a very good energetic. It does have the moon this year, but these two, when they clash, these are like two mountains. Let me see if I can get on the screen here. These are like two mountains. Hold on, let me just do it this way. A dog and a dragon. These are like two mountains, and they're sitting kind of like side by side each other, and they don't really, everything is great, everything is great, everything is great, but those earth plates, the tectonic plates, which we just had a rumble here in California about a week ago, when those move, boom, now we have kind of a collision, if you will. We have an earthquake. And so when that happens, there's a big shakeup. So it is not uncommon. I mean, some clashes are, I'm not really too concerned about clashes, but if you can see them coming or know what's happening, that's why I love Chinese metaphysics, because you can pretty much foretell when things are going to be happening, and you can plan for it, and you can guide and direct it somewhat. But when a big clash happens between these strong both yang earth animals, there is going to be some big change. So that's really what this means: is big change is coming coming the way. So that is what a clash is going to be when it comes to a dragon and a dog. All right, so let us go on to the pig. Now, the pig this year, it only has one favorable attribute this year, and a couple of ones we have to watch out for. But let me just point out to you that the pig month always happens in the month of November. This year, it's going to start on the 7th, because it can go anywhere from the 3rd up to about the 8th of the month, depending on how the year kind of starts out, and then that's how the sequence goes. But this year it starts in 2021 on the 7th. But let's talk about the pig and what it has going for them this year. Oh, by the way, a pig is one of the travel animals, which I think would be important for you to understand. And a pig is one of the four. So if you have one of these other animals in your chart, then this would be worth noting as well. If you have a monkey in your chart, if you have a tiger in your chart, if you have a pig in your chart, and I'm just spacing on the last one, pig, tiger, a snake. There you go. There you go. And they're all subcardinals. I was just spacing on that one. So anyway, those four animals, pig, snake, tiger, and monkey. That means that you are a person that probably your entire life has either loved to travel, loved to move around. You're not someone that likes to sit still very much. You're kind of always on the move, as well as you might have moved house or office quite a bit in your life. So if you have more than one travel animal in your chart, then you move even that much more. So I just wanted to point that out, because sometimes people don't understand, or even even understand that it is important to be moving your body, because that is helping you be more in flow with the chi of your chart. And that's what we always want to do. We always want to follow these best attributes of the chart, and then we also want to avoid some of the pitfalls. Well, on an annual basis, we can look at certain attributes, but even from a long-term perspective. So this was kind of a little long-term perspective that I wanted to throw into the mix, because if you're feeling a little bit stuck, of those four animals that I just said to you, the tiger, monkey, snake, and pig, move a little bit. Like, you don't have to move physically as far as moving your house or your office, but it would be a good idea to move your body, get into a flow, start doing some yoga, start doing dances, getting out for walks, getting into the vehicle or public transportation and just get moving a little bit. This is going to help you get some juices flowing. And that's very important for those animals that have the travel attributes. This would be a very strong recommendation, especially if you feel like you're a little bit stuck. Get on the move. I would say that for if you've got yin or yang water in your chart as well. Okay. All right. Let's get back to. Okay. All right. The pigs. What do we have for the pigs this year? The pigs have expansion. And so this is why I really kind of extensively went into the travel animal piece of it, because of all of the animals, this one in particular has great potential. And again, time is ticking. We've got 6 months left. And if there was ever a time in the history of the world, really, of being able to jump into networking groups, to expand your business into another geographic area, the timing is perfect for it. And so again, we've only got a few months left before we tick into a different energetics, but this would be where you can find really good opportunities internationally and literally flourish because you have decided to expand the borders outside of maybe your local geographic. Now, I realize that, for some, that doesn't make sense because maybe you've got a brick and mortar store of some sort, but you know what, think of what you can sell online. Even if you are I don't know, an acupuncturist or whatever, there's products that you can sell online. There's training that you can do online that can help your clients that might geographically may not be able to get to you. But the other thing I want you to think about is having some sort of visibility online and things like that is important, because you know what, people are traveling to, most likely, unless you live out in the middle of nowhere, and you'd probably even be difficult listening to me because you don't have an internet signal. But people do travel to your geographic area and they're going to be looking for an acupuncturist. So you want your ratings to be high and all of that. So again, this is where I want you to spruce up your website, your offerings, and things like that. So if you do have a pig in your chart, would be good if you feel safe to do that, to travel a little bit. And you may be one of those animals that end up moving internationally this year. So this is really helping you extensively expand your market worldwide. All right, what you need to watch out for though is some injuries, minor injuries. It could be um, just more of an annoyance. But you do have to watch out for some scarring. So for those of you who do like to do elective surgeries, as far as, um, you know, body parts to either enhance, augment, whatever. I have nothing against it. But if you have a pig in your chart, I might wait because it might end up as a botched surgery. So do watch out for that kind of thing this year, because there will be some scars of some sort. So let's keep them minor scars instead of major ones. Okay. All right. Let's talk about some of the other things that the pig can look forward to. If you have a tiger in your chart, now remember, the tiger is one of the more vibrant animals in 2021. It really has a great dynamic for them to tap into. So the pig can ride on the tiger's back, if you will. It also has a very good, excellent feng shui attributes, which I'll talk about next week. So stay tuned for that. But the pig and the tiger, when you put those together, they really have a nice simpatico. Now they also have a little bit of a challenging energetic, but let's just keep it light for right now. All right. For the 3 harmony with the pig, and as you see, we have repeated. We're now going into the last of the 12 animals. So all of these 3 animals showed up throughout the week as well, but let's talk about the pig. So a little bit of a repeat. So when you put a pig, a goat, and a rabbit together, this is where you're going to create more wood. Now, I go into what wood is for the year and all the attributes about that. So what is wood to you, though, from a 5 structure point of view? And then again, just like I said on the other slides, you have to have one of those in your chart. And luckily for you, we are in the month of the goat. Therefore, you can use the goat as one just by using the month or using any goat day or goat hour. And then the rabbit has already passed and the pig is coming, as we saw. So you got to have at least one of those animals in your chart if you would like to bring more wood into your chart. And then the clash animal is the snake and the pig. So these two animals are opposite sides of the zodiac, and they don't really get along too well. They're kind of snappy with each other. But like I said, a clash I'm not so concerned about because it will definitely help you make space for something that you want to bring in, especially if you guide that clash. That's the objective. All right, our last animal that we're going to talk about today is, and for the week, because we are at the last animal, the rat really is the first animal of the zodiac, and that sort of begins the cycle. But I always start with the year of, and so that's why we started with the ox. And so, but the rat last year got a little bit beat up, if you will, because it was the year of the rat, it was the Grand Duke, and blah blah blah. But this year it does have some nice things going for it. It's not totally perfect, but it is nice. Okay, so it has 3 stars. It is the month of December. So again, we have that to look forward to be able to tap into the energetics of the timing piece of it, which is great. And so here we go. So the rat has very good brain power. So if you really want to learn something new, and I hope people that are following me are lifelong learners, because I think that is where one of your true potentials and power lies, is when you are ever helping yourself to be a better person, personally, professionally, spiritually, financially. Those life skills are so important, and everything technologically, everyone has to continue to level up their game. Everyone. Those who choose not to are going to be left behind in the dust. And I'll give you a tip. Technology, you have to stay ahead of the game. And luckily I have an assistant that's a bit younger than me, much younger than me. And so I think our next hire is going to be even somebody younger than that, just to keep us attuned to all the changes that are happening, because we are definitely going into a huge technological shift coming soon. So the rat, let's go back to that, is honing a skill that you already have or learn something new. And you know, it's also about new ways of operating your business. So obviously, if you didn't listen to me last year, you didn't know about me. I was telling you already last year that tech was on the rise, that you need to start thinking about an online presence. And with that said, this is something that I can say with pure certainty, that you are going to have to really level up those skills and implement them. And if you do, then the rewards will be there for you. If you don't, then you're going to be on the side of a business. Like if you look at so many businesses, whether it be the car industry, you know, the pet industry, health. I mean, there's so much that people will do online now out of either convenience, or they want to see someone outside of their geographic area, and it just doesn't make sense. So it really is ever more um, present that we need to operate in a very different way. And those of you who are willing to go that extra mile or a kilometer or whatever, then you're the ones that are going to not only succeed in this year that's challenging, where others are going to fail, you're really going to be able to level up and get the notoriety and rewards that you get, and truthfully even monetize these as well. So, but you have to stay in front of it. All right, now they also have a very nice partnership uh, attribute that comes with it. Of all of the 12 signs, this is really, really great for partnerships, whether it be personal or professional. So, you know, attracting those right people to help you achieve your goals. You really are just more likable and friendly, trustworthy, and you can forge really long lasting, lifelong lasting partnerships. But you know, obviously it takes two. So you know, you can be the one that starts to pick and choose who those relationships are and how you want to cultivate them. But it really is about leveling up your networks, leveling up the people that you hang around with, leveling up how you even show up. So it really is helping you raise your own status, but that's up to you whether you actually take my advice. Hopefully you will. Now, the other thing is you have an energetics that's called relief, and this is looking at problems, obstacles that might be holding you back. So it might be a lingering health problem, it might be a lingering relationship problem, work related. What is the thing, you know, and really distilling down where the problem started is going to be easier for you to fix it because you'll know where you went off the rails, if you will. But also it's also going to help you not make that mistake over and over and over again. So this is where it's going to help you find what the root problem is, resolve it, and not make that same mistake again. Now, will you need help with that? Potentially. There are many tools that I can help you with, but sometimes it is good to seek out third party in it, whether that be through a therapist or a coach or a trusted friend, not somebody that's judgmental, but somebody who really can help you really let this go for once and for all. Okay. All right. But you do have to watch out for your health this year. So I do want to let you know about that, that there could be some serious health issues. And one of the main reasons why is because this is going to show up spatially next week when I talk to you um, about the space of the feng shui and the flying star. This is where in the north sector we have an illness star showing up. So this is why the rats are a little bit more um, they're a little bit more immune compromised this year, or having the potential of a serious health issue that might show up. It's because of the space is also saying that we've got this issue as well. All right, let's look at the best friends. So 2 years in a row, the rat had the ox as a friend last year, and this year the ox has the rat as a friend. This is long term. This will never change. But I'm talking about the year of the rat and the year of the ox. These two animals who really live right next to each other. It starts with the rat and goes to the ox, and so these are the best friends that we can depend on for bringing. Making your life a little bit easier is using those two animals. Here is our three harmony that we would bring one of these three into play, and this three harmony will bring about water. Now, the thing that I also want to mention to you about your chart is, and let me go back here in time if I can. Let's just look at this chart here. Remember, you have up to 4 animals in your chart. Some of you may have rare. You may have 4 of one animal in your chart. Well, we talked about that in another training. I can't remember which day I did talk about that, but most likely you have 4. But you might have a double animal in your chart. That's not unheard of either. But what we do want to know is that whatever the animals are in your year, month, day, and hour, then you would have a potential of having 4 harmonies in your chart. You could bring in the fire frame and the water frame and the wood frame and the metal frame. There is no earth frame, as we talked about when I talked about the three harmonies. But you could potentially bring them all in. And where would you bring them in? Into that area where you have, um, if you had like a rat in the year, then it would bring in more energy for that particular year. But it is across all of the elements. So if you need more wealth or power or resource or companions, that's how we can bring that in. Okay, so I think we are at this last slide here. This is just a recap. Now, I'm not going to go over all these attributes because I went over them extensively when we did the individual 3 days of each animal. So, but here's a quick recap of, if you just want to take a screenshot of that as well, you're more than welcome to just kind of look at it at a quick snapshot of, oh, I have a rat in my chart, and I have a dog in my chart, and I have a snake in my chart, and a monkey in my chart. Oh, well, this is where I can make my strategy for the year, and then this will take us into the following week. Okay? All right. And so now what I am going to prime you for is we are going to be talking in week 2. That will be day 6, and we'll be starting on Monday, 11:30 a.m. And again, this is a training, so I am not putting a time parameter around this. This is about helping you get the best out of this training. And this is me with my my Lopan compass, but you're not going to need that. All you're going to need is this so, but before I go off the slide, and then Alice, if you can put that, which you probably already have, freecompassdial.com onto our online people that are listening right now. And then I'm going to just tell you a couple of things that I want you to do to get ready for next week. Okay. All right. So what I want you to do to get ready for next week is I want you to get a floor plan. And even if you have a room, I need you to have an accurate floor plan so that you can get accurate results. And if you hand draw it out and you're very accurate about it, then I'm good with it. But just going, oh, there's a curve there, that's really not going to help you, and you can actually harm yourself, because what we're going to be doing is classical feng shui. And what that means is you're going to have to take a compass reading, and you're going to just do it with your smartphone. And all you need to do is pull up a free compass dial. You don't have to buy anything. I don't want you to buy anything, but I do want you to get an accurate floor plan. So here are some of the ways that I know that you can get an accurate floor plan if you're renting or you're buying, or if you own your own space. One is, if you are renting, ask the property management or leasing company that you are renting your space from or leasing your space from. That's one way, and just tell them that you need a floor plan of laying out your space, and that's all you need to tell them. Number 2, you could, if you own the space, you can go to your closing docs. Many times you will see your floor plans online. Now, if you have recently, well, I'm going to just say what we can do in the United States. Honestly, if you have some suggestions for the followers who are listening outside of the U.S. geographic, let us know what you're doing to find your floor plan. But you can go to, if your building was built after a certain date, and it depends on the state. It really does depend on the state. I've had clients in Hawaii that have told me, oh, we just build. We don't have to really pull a permit. They just let us do what we want. I think that's changing. But a lot of times additions, or, they just weren't recorded. Today, I think you need to pull a permit to build anything, right? If you're living on in a state where they have rules and regulations, which, we just had a pretty big disaster in Florida for people not following rules and regulations. You can Google that, what happened in Florida. But you can go to the planning or where you pull permits. You can go to the planning department and ask for your address, and they should have a floor plan. Um, in the US, again, I don't know outside of my geographic area, you can go to places like Zillow, and if your house is not brand new, like it's been listed more than once, sometimes they will actually have a floor plan that is listed in the picture gallery where they would have the floor plan. Now, I have also gone onto Google Earth and done the aerial view. And now you may not have the rooms, but at least you have the footprint of your property that your house is on, and you can at least use that as the floor plan. And then again, you won't be able to like put walls in and all of that kind of stuff. There are apps out there. I've spoken about this many times. Again, I cannot recommend one. I wish I could. But if you have furniture, unless your space is empty, furniture, it's going to read the angles of a furniture. I tried several and I've gotten nothing but frustrated. You could also contact a interior designer that does his or her plans in CAD, and or an architect. Then there's also, if you live in the US, but this again, we are in a bit of a lockdown again, so this would be up to you. Is we have a building supply place that's called Home Depot. And so you can go to homedepot.com/floor plans, and they will come out for a couple $100, depending on the size of your space. They will do an accurate floor plan for you. That is, and I've seen the plans. I've had professional people draw up floor plans for my clients, and I've also worked with the Home Depot floor plans, and they're brilliant. I really, really like them. It's very worth the investment. You will be using it year after year after year. If you follow me or classical feng shui, and it will be a great investment for you. But you got to get on it because we're starting on Monday on this. And remember, this is a holistic system. If you leave one piece out, it's like, I don't know, training for, the Olympics, right? Those are right around the corner here. And you decided not to bother about nutrition. Well, you can only expect your body to perform on junk food, right? If that's what you're choosing to do, you're not actually doing the full program. What I'm trying to give for you are absolutely free is the tools for you to help you stimulate your business. And doing the feng shui is going to be the piece that is going to help you um, definitely have a holistic view of everything that needs to go on, right? So there you go. So just as we finish up here, I'm going to put back on the screen here that URL to get our free compass dials, and there's a little bit of information in there as well about helping you to um, lay out your floor plans and things like that. But again, be as accurate as you can to get accurate results. We're going to close it up for today. Thank you so much for listening. I have one last favor to ask of you. If you could go ahead and share this video on whatever platform that you are listening to. You can also send this particular URL, bit.ly@stimulateyourbusiness.com. We really, really, really love your comments. We love that you have subscribed to us, and we do welcome you to our community. I'm going to see if we do have any. Whoops, I didn't want to go there. I want to go somewhere else. I'm going to see if we have any questions or comments that we are going to be looking at this year or this today. Hold on, I just want to I clicked on something here that I didn't want to click on. Like a video. Okay, didn't want to do that. All right, so let's see. What do we have here? Hi, Elizabeth. Dog in my month is in my birth year, and I'm a dog in the destiny cycle. Do I need to pay attention? That's a great question, Elizabeth. That is not one of the animals. We could have. There are four animals that we do have to watch out for doubles, and the four animals are horse, pigs, so that was one of them today, dragons, and roosters. Those are the four animals. We do not want to see more than one of those in your chart. So dogs are fine. You could have, although it would be, there's other things about dogs that we don't like to have doubles of. But if, when it comes to the perspective of, is there like problems as far as that's concerned? No. But you do have to watch out for dragon days. You need to watch out for dragon months. We've already passed the dragon months, and where you may be switching your destiny cycle. I'm not sure when your cycle changes, but there's going to. I'm already going to tell you in the year 2024. There's big changes happening anyway in 2024. We officially go into period 9, which I'll talk about somewhere along the line. I'm not sure within this series or another, but there's a big shift from period 8 to period 9. So everybody's going to be feeling that shift of going into like big technological advances, entertainment, and things like that. But you particularly, what is going to happen is from a year point of view, there's going to be a big clash in the year of birth, which, what did we talk about? The year of birth is about your reputation, it's about your brand, it's about the people that you know, your networking efforts, your marketing, and how far and wide you can market. So here's my challenge to you, Elizabeth. You've got the rest of this year, you've got the year of the tiger, the year of the rabbit, and then in 4 years' time, when that dog comes, do not wait for the dog to come to make. This would be a great year for you to rebrand, for example. This would be a great year for you to start looking at editing, taking the pruning shears to who are the people that you hang around with. Now, this is an old saying. I don't actually know who coined it first. You are the sum total of the 5 people you choose to hang around with, right? So elevate that, because the clash is going to happen. You're going to start feeling it as you get closer to the dragon. Some friend that maybe you've had since you've been in grade school, that you've had all of your life, all of a sudden you just, there's just a divide, if you will. Like you're just not on the same playing field anymore. Your interests and their interests are going in 2 different directions, right? That could be one of it. Don't know how old you are, but you also could lose some friends, because there is going to be a clash out as far as they're going to pass on. As in dying. And then we also are going to look at like, what are you doing as far as networks, as you know, networking efforts and things like that. So again, looking at like what you're doing now for networking, is it even working? Then continue to keep networking up and networking up. But in 4 years' time, you should already have a plan in place, boom, that you're going to be networking with the top level people. If you do nothing, nothing will happen, and the universe will take care of itself. There was something that I came up with yesterday, just kind of serendipitously. Like, if you decide to just sit back, and this wasn't it, I'm kind of paraphrasing my own paraphrase. But if you sit back and do nothing, believe me, the universe will take its own course. So guide it and plan for it. That's how you use this material. It will only help you to be a better person. Okay, I want to have a program that involves yin yoga, meditation, and breath work and creative movement. I also have interest in nutrition, such as juicing, hot cold water therapy, and coaching. Congratulations, Alex. I think that's a great initiative that you want to be doing, and they all kind of fit together. So I'm sure some of the things that you are listening to me today. Hopefully it resonates with you, because it is pretty fantastic what you're doing, and we need people like you to help bring balance. We definitely need this to bring balance. So very good. There really wasn't, oh, and I am the year of a metal ox too. Okay, great. So this year, as I said, there could be some change. You may want to go back to, if you haven't listened to it already, is the metal ox. And just as a reminder, if you want to hear what I said at the top of the year, Alice, my assistant, has created a playlist. It's on YouTube. It's 2021 Animal Astrology Forecast. So go back and listen to that. It's not my full event. We just pulled out the animals on that. But if you'd like to listen to that, LOL, no pressure, Kathleen. Oh, I think I answered your question. Hopefully I did. So let's see. Hi, Melanie. How you doing today? I've wanted this for the year. Rat, last year when you told the directions to face at my desk, it changed my energy and business big time. Yay, Melanie! I'm so happy to hear that. I love your thumbnail too. That's so pretty. Good for you. Rebranding right now. Good for you, Elizabeth. Awesome. Thank you, Kathleen. Well, thank you for tuning in, everyone. Really appreciate it. And we will see you on Monday at 11:30 p.m. Pacific. Again, please help by sharing so we can continue to do programs like this, but we're going to need to build this community for this to happen. All right. All right. Have an amazing weekend. We'll see you in a couple days' time. Bye-bye. Take care. Thanks.